Hello? 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 Checking the mic. Hi, my name's Liam Andrews and I'm the President of Futsal Great Britain Association. Thank you and welcome to our verified Twitch account, AMFGB. Our main event that we're going to be talking about today is the C13 2006 Futsal World Cup in Barcelona. But before we talk about the Futsal World Cup, I want us to talk about the Futsal Great Britain GB men's team and the Youth League and Adults League that we'll be producing this year. Let's start with the men's team. Just to talk about, what we've done so far and what we're looking to do with the men's team. So, what we've done so far. We have already gone to Milan in Italy and played in a Continental Cup, which I wasn't president at that time, but I was the first team manager. Now, one of the kits that we did have was this orange kit here. If you just want to have a quick look. I know orange isn't the colour of GB, but like I said, I was only the manager at this point. I wasn't actually the president. But it was a nice memorabilia to take home. 14, my number from my old football days with Thierry Henry. So if you like Thierry Henry, comment below. Best footballer in the world ever. But yeah, nice little memorabilia to take home with us after our first Continental Cup. And every single player that came with us with the men's also got to take their jersey home. So I just wanted to say before we go into what happened in Italy with the men's, I just want to say thank you for all the players that played with us, and I really appreciated all the efforts and all the hard work that you did put in there. It was a very tough trip for us in our first GB international competition and friendly competition. So thank you very much for getting involved with that. Right, so Italy, we played our first match was against France. Really good competitive game. And then we followed in the same day, only an hour after that game, we went to go and play Italy, which wasn't as competitive, but the effort levels of the players was still really good. And then finishing really late against Italy, the following day, early morning, we had to then play Switzerland. And yet again, the boys did absolutely fantastic, tried their absolute, worked their socks off throughout the whole thing. So thank you very much for the boys for that. And the other teams that participated were Albania and Morocco. Morocco being the standout team for me personally on a technical point of view. Some of their skills that they pulled off in that tournament was absolutely insane and has influenced me to what I would like to see from GB in the future. Right, what are the GB men's team going to be doing coming up? Well, we've got, on Easter Sunday, we are going to be playing a team from Belgium at the Play Football Arena in Birmingham. If you would like to know any more information about that game, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and follow our future videos, and we will keep you updated with those games coming up. And that will be a really exciting, it will be an in-house game, but if you did want to come and have a look, you're more than welcome. And then in June, we are in current negotiations with Canada, which will be a really tough contest, but we'll be looking at potentially a bigger, more exciting venue for that one in June, and then that will be open to the public to come and watch, and hopefully inspire more people to want to watch and play AMF futsal going forward. Okay, so that is it for the men's team. If any of you do have any questions about that, feel free to pop it in the comments. My media team are working behind the scenes as we speak, looking through the comments, so I have no problem stopping at any point and answering any of your questions. So if you do have any questions about the men's GB first team, please put it in the comments and I'll happily answer any questions. Can I just say as well, for anyone that is currently viewing, thank you very much for coming, and at any time give me your questions and I'll happily answer them. Okay, the next point, and this is probably going to have a lot of meat to this one, so yeah, again, if you want to talk about the next topic, post any comments that you want. and I'll try and answer as many questions as I can. So the next topic, leagues for youth and adults. The league for youth and adults is going to be a really exciting one. It's going to be the first AMF leagues in Great Britain, and what we are going to be looking to do is making the leagues specific to you guys. I can easily turn around and say we're going to have a South League, a Midlands League, a North League, but actually what we want to do is we're going to be putting out a Google document, and you guys can tell us where you are based. And what we're going to do is make the leagues as close to you as possible to make the travelling distances a little bit less.
By Sasto.
Say that again.
Sasto02 has gave you a question. In Easter, are there any games?
In Easter, there will be the men's GB game against the Belgium team, and there'll be more information coming out on that game very soon. Maybe in our next video or the video after that. But there'll also be some content being put out on social media as well. All right. So going back to the leagues, there will be a Google document coming out, and that will be very specific to where you guys are based. So if you are starting futsal for the very first time, or you are the elite, we will have a Google document that will give us really good you know, data to kind of look at and go, right, okay, this team would be perfect for this league, this team would be perfect for this league. One thing we do definitely want to make sure is we are having home and away games, so you can build up your own fan base. And because we have got this Twitch channel now, we can give shout outs to loads of different clubs and hopefully get your name out there in the AMF circuit. So that'll be fantastic. Now, in regards to days, I'm not biased to any particular day. So if we were having our more elite leagues, I would happily have them on a Saturday and a Sunday, but the teams that are playing, the only thing I would say in regards to the rules of the league, they would have to be negotiated, whether it's going to be Saturday or Sunday, but they can choose any of the day that is easier for them. Going to more of the amateur leagues, they can still play on Saturday and Sundays, but they can also play midweek games as well. I think for me, playing more futsal is exactly what we're looking for, and not being restricted to one day will mean more content out there, and that will be what we're looking for, and more experience of having the opportunity to play AMF futsal. Right, I mentioned it a little bit in my last video, but I do apologise about our last video. We couldn't post it out to our other social media networks, but this video will go out there. But I did touch on in our last video about street soccer and how I see that developing within AMF futsal. For me, having AMF futsal and street soccer almost coming together and helping each other develop is where I see it. Because for me personally, as much as I loved playing football as a young kid, without even knowing, you could argue I was playing futsal as a youth when I was in the cage on concrete, or when I was in the park on concrete or tarmac or anything like that. These elements of playing street soccer or futsal or football, they can be emerged to the futsal game that we want to see. Now, what I'm a little bit worried about in what I'm seeing in futsal at the moment is almost, I've heard the word futsal snobbery, where futsal got to be played in this way, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. But actually, the game that is the most popular in England, particularly with football, there's a different range for it. If I heard a kid go, right, let's go at the park and play footy, then they go and play headers and volleys. Is that football or is that headers and volleys? But to them, it's playing footy, it's playing football. So for me, it's bringing that culture of futsal doesn't have to be played at a specific way unless it's international. You know, England football, I wouldn't expect Sterling to be playing in a 3v3 game against Belgium, but I would be expecting it as 11v11 when they're playing. So there's got to be that flexibility and balance if you want people to start playing futsal. So having street soccer players in our futsal leagues and playing against street soccers at an international level as well, I think will be really, really good for the game. And especially with AMF starting, would be really exciting to open our doors to anyone that wants to play futsal, and instead of saying, right, we're futsal, there's the rest of the world, we play this particular futsal, you're not allowed to get involved. That's not the way that I want to work, and hopefully that you guys will be exactly the same. Okay, affiliation for our leagues. We are going to do affiliation slightly different. Affiliation will be £5 per player. So the clubs can choose. They pay the £5 on behalf of the player, or the player pays their £5 for the affiliation, and then the club will be then responsible to pay for their insurance, and that's how they will get affiliated to our leagues at youth level and at adult level. Okay. Now, a few people have mentioned to me about coaching courses and refereeing courses. This is something that I've spoken to FEF and AMF quite a lot in the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months, and we are very, very close to agreeing a date for coaching courses and for refereeing courses. So if you would like to get involved in our refereeing and our coaching courses, please leave a comment below or give me a message or an email, and we'll happily help you get on to those coaching and refereeing courses. But what I can tell you is they are going to be affordable, and in our first couple we will also have international coaches come along that have had experience in FIFA and an AMF, so they'll give you a really good balanced view on the experience of futsal. Okay, so this could become quite a controversial statement, but in our leagues we are not going to have a limit on foreign players. Now, for me, we are a league. We are not a national team when we're talking about leagues. Now, for GB, you have to be a Great Britain citizen to play for GB. But if you look at the Premier League as an example, they have a lot of foreigners. And for me personally, having foreigners come over and play, managing, coaching, expertise in physiotherapy, or just being a player, is really important to grow in the game. And having the experience of a Brazilian coming over to England and offering that expertise is brilliant. And yet again, I don't want to close the door to someone that wants to play futsal. So we're not going to put a limitation on foreign players playing. I've played in loads of teams where I've had players that have taught me loads from being foreign, and it helped my game personally, and I know a lot of players will also develop from foreigners. If Recordinho decided that he wanted to come and play in England, I don't think many people would say no. And for me, putting a big emphasis on having to have England players or British players all the time sometimes can actually dilute the quality. And actually, when I'm picking a squad, I'm picking a squad of 12, maybe 14, but predominantly 12. So I want 12 quality players, and if they're being developed by playing with foreigners, then so be it. So if you are a person that is being neglected and you're struggling to find a team, or your club is struggling to adapt to other people's format of the game, then the door is open to you with us. If anyone has any questions on what I have currently said about the leagues, that is all my points on the leagues for now. If you would like any more information on the leagues, give me a message. There will be, if you want a specific video for youth leagues and for adult leagues, please get us in touch. But just remember, there's a Google document coming out, and that will have a few information on there that we will be able to collect data and get more youth and adult leagues set up that will start hopefully in September. But any questions, leave them in the box below, and I will try and get to any of the questions that we can. Okay. Right, now for the main event and the exciting the exciting event that I'm really looking forward to, and this is the C13 2006 Age-Born Futsal World Cup. Now, C13 is a European age group, so instead of a school year that we do our football in and futsal in Britain, it is done on the year of your birth. Okay, so if you are born in 2006, maybe even 2007 as well, you could have the chance of representing your country, Great Britain, at the Futsal World Cup. And the World Cup will be in Barcelona. The venue itself is currently being negotiated. There's a few venues that have already been spoken about within AMF, but the venue will be announced shortly. The Men's World Cup is going to be in Argentina very soon, in the next couple of weeks. So after the World Cup, I'm sure they will announce the C13 World Cup venue. So stay tuned for more videos, and we will also keep you updated with that as well. The countries that qualify for the Futsal World Cup will be 4 times of Americas, which could be South America, North America, etc. 5 Europe, including Catalonia, who are the host nation. 1 from Asia, 1 for Oceania, and 1 Africa. So really excited to see what teams qualify and get through. Great Britain will be in the C13 Futsal World Cup, and the World Cup will be on October the 31st, and it will finish on the 3rd of November. And I am so excited to be bringing to Great Britain a World Cup that our kids will have the lifelong opportunity of trying to represent their country and hopefully win a World Cup. The squad that we'll be taking will be 12. The main reason for 12 is we want to make sure the players are getting game time, but also having a big enough squad that, you know, if we have injuries or tiredness or anything, that players can be rotated. In other international trips we've had with the younger age groups, we did bring more than that, but we want to make sure we keep it at 12 so we can make sure the squad is competitive, but also we've got enough options if there are injuries and tiredness, like I said before. Okay, the events manager for the Futsal World Cup will be my wife, Erin Andrews, who has already taken kids abroad with her dance school to Paris. She also came with us in Italy with the C12. She has a full chaperone's license, so she can take kids away without parents, and has the full license to do that. And she, at the moment, Erin is currently looking at all the different options of how to make the trip best from a GB point of view, but also from a player's point of view. So we're really excited to see what sort of things Erin comes up with in the next couple of weeks and couple of months that we will announce in future videos. All the current forms will be done from Erin as well. You know, your typical school release forms, which I don't think anyone will be at school because that will be in a half term. But you know, if anyone is doing extracurriculum activities, or if they've got any commitments, they might have, you know, release forms from those commitments. Code of conducts, and you know, basically all the paperwork that will be needed. Erin will make sure that all of that is intact, ready for when we go away. The trials for the World Cup have currently started. We've had Swindon, we've had Birmingham, and on the 30th we will have the Manchester trials, and then the week after we will finish off the round 1 trials in London. And I'm really excited to announce with those trials as well, we've already had kids from Wales, England and Scotland all apply, and hopefully over the next couple of months or couple of years we will be able to attract more Northern Ireland representatives from youth and adults as well. But really excited about the trials. Some really top quality teams, like players that play for clubs. They're currently playing for futsal clubs, but also playing for professional football clubs. We've had academy players apply from your likes of Aston Villa, West Ham, West Brom, Southampton, and even Liverpool. So hopefully we will have a really exciting teams coming forward, all the way from 2011 all the way up to 2004. If you would like to apply in the older age groups, there will be trials for those, but at the moment we are making trials for 2011 all the way up to 2004, and then more trials will come after that for the older age groups. The second round, so if you are successful in round 1, there will be the second round, which will be on the 27th of April, and that will be at the Play Football Arena in Birmingham. and that will be where we'll probably see the best quality of players starting to come through the ranks, where we will start to be very close to deciding who's going to be the 12-man squad for the World Cup, but also for the other age groups. So if you have any questions about the Futsal World Cup for the C13's 2006 World Cup in Barcelona, leave a comment below. I will be around for the next 15 to 20 minutes. If you guys want to stay tuned, ask your questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you very much for coming onto my Twitch verified account today, AMFGB, and please keep the AMF message going. We want to offer the best futsal experience for you guys. Thank you very much.